Hi again. Lovely Sunday morning here in Sydney, Australia. We've just had a terrible, rotten week and a half of downpour, floods and what have you, and I really feel sorry for the people in the outlying areas that have had to suffer. But the weather's come back. It's a beautiful, bright, sunny day again, and I've got the Healey outside and we're ready to push on. Got a bit of today I think I'm just going to spend fixing up the little bits and pieces that aren't quite right. I actually thinking of those panels, the heat shield panels, which are just fibre cement, okay, and I'm thinking of all the Healeys that I've seen. That gets pretty filthy and grotty after a short period, especially if it's been driving in the rain, picks up all the road dirt and so on. So under the passenger side, the left side for us, the shield that I put there, I actually used a shower sealer and waterproofer, which I think is a good idea, but I was a bit worried that it might change the colour too much. It didn't. It made it slightly deeper, and I can show you that shortly. And so I think I'll do the rest of the heat shield panels with this cromolin shower sealer and waterproofer. This is a really good one because I actually recently did both my bathrooms and use this to seal the grout, and it's really great. It's good stuff. So it really gets in amongst it. So I'm using that as a sealer on the heat shield panels, and which will seal it and allow the dirt that gets on there to at least be able to be washed off without sinking into the shield itself. So the other thing I needed to do was get onto the seat slides. I'm going to make I'm going to make some washers with this. This is just a lump of stainless steel bar that I had, and because they needed to be extra thick washers, I was going to make them 2 millimeters wide, and there's two different sizes that I need. One is for the this fellow here, which is the nut, okay, if you can see that, it's that nut that sits on the underside of the car. So that needed a washer, and I can't remember who picked me up on that, but thank you. And also then in the seat pan itself, it needs a thicker washer. I haven't made up my mind yet about the plate that we've been talking about in the comments on the last video, whether that's necessary. I've been thinking a lot about it and thinking, is it a safety issue, or you know, for what purpose was it put there? And I've got some thoughts. I actually did a bit of physics and maths, and I really believe it wasn't a safety issue. And the reason I say that is because when you look at all the forces involved, I mean, essentially it's a seat belt that holds people back. Now that's of course fixed to the body of the car. Should you reinforce those points, I could understand it. But the seat itself, don't forget the cushion that you're sitting on sits in there loose. The seat pan itself can't take a lot of stress and strain, and the reason for that is that if you have you know, a 60 kilogram person, and then you come up against, doing simple maths, against a brick wall, you've got, I don't know, at 60 kilometers an hour, 37 miles per hour, you're going to have such a force on that seat. And if that person was fixed to the seat only and nothing else, they would take the seat with them. And you know, the first thing to fail would be where the ball bearings go for the slide mechanism. It has to be, because that's the weakest point in the whole mechanism. They just sit around the balls, the sheet metal, even though it's strong, rigid, but with a force of, I don't know, 100 G, stopping at 60 kilometers an hour, assuming it's a brick wall, bunch of assumptions, then you know, there's no way that those slides could stop the forces that are involved. And that's even before you get down to the bottom side of the slide, underneath the slide, onto the floor of the whole mechanism. So I wonder if the plates were put in by Warwickshire versus Longbridge, where the Healeys were made in two different parts of England, of course. I don't know how far apart that is. Somebody could probably tell me, but mine being a very early Healey, well, 55, late 55, that's only 2 and a bit years since they were actually in existence. And my car was just the lead-in into the B&2. So I think it was a late, when I say late 55, I think November of 1955 is when I see the first registration on that car. And it was just after that Christmas, I think, is when the B&2 started to come out more fully. Now, I could have people correct me on that, and that you know, I'm really not that great on the history, but you know, I know there's a lot of history buffs there. They could probably correct me, but the plate is not part of the illustrated breakdown of some of the major suppliers, and so I'm thinking mine didn't come with it. I can't think of a reason to put it in. I could understand that the floor panels can deteriorate with age, and the nuts that hold the seat pan into the floor can become a little bit flexible, but you know, I find that a bit of a stretch. And so I'm just inclined to think some were made with it and some weren't, and where that distinction comes in, I don't know. So I accept that. Yeah, you know, we're nowhere near the airport here, but they seem to use our flight overhead as the flight path to swing around, and they go out to sea and then come around into Mascot, which is Sydney Airport. Okay, so do I put it in? I'm not 100% sure that I should. I'm not 100% sure that I will. I'm going to make washers. I'm going to finish a bit of electrics. Remember the wire that was a bit on the short side, so I'm going to lengthen that. And of course I got the wrong colour wire, it's green, I've got a bit of red, so I've got to shrink wrap that in black and leave the rest exposed. So a few things to do today: make washers. I need 6, 12, 24 odd washers, and so I'm just going to make mine. A bit of shadow there, but you can see there that it's a lovely, nice, bright colour as compared to that one there. It's in the shade, but it's really not. If you can see both there, the one here, of course, that's all covered in shade, but it is a little bit, if I had to say, a little bit brighter. And so I'm going to now cover the rest in the sealant, so you can see as the mud and slush might fly up, how these can get dirtier and dirtier. So let's do that. Okay, cut this fellow off about the middle, so I can keep the colour. So I'll keep that black to black and basically keep the colour coordinate. Okay, which is that there. Okay, so what I'm doing is the clips for the underside on the electrical cabling. So I'm going to put in nutserts. I'm using my cone drill. There's about going along. There's about 8 or 9 of them. I've seen one Healey have about up to here about 7 to the back. So, which means about every 250 mil, give or take, to try and keep them a little bit equidistant. So, and they just ride on the edge like that and lean over the edge. That's in the Healeys that I've got pictures of anyway. That's how they seem to have it. And the actual fuel line comes along this side as well. The brake line goes along on that side, and this cable here. So, okay, going to nutsert and then put in a screw in a screwed thread hole, rather than the self tappers, because I think that there's a tendency for them to rust more. Okay, let's grab a screw, just see how that looks. Okay, can you see that? Alright, and then up to that point, I've got these two to sit basically equidistant. Okay, so we'll just mark that one up. Excuse my head. We might speed it up a bit. Whoop. What happened then? I hope I didn't strip that. Let's see how we go. Yep. Right, so we re-drilled that. I've stripped the thread on that, so we'll re-drill that. Okay, and put a new one in. I think I just squeezed a bit too hard on that, so I have to try and be a bit more gentle. Right. And screw that in.